I forgot when I finished Wano, I was gonna do a video talking about Wano, like that I had, like, hey guys, I finished Wano, here, let's talk about it. Kind of forgot. I just immediately jumped into Egghead and completely forgot about doing this. So, currently I am in Egghead. As one of my friends said, I inhaled One Piece. So, I decided, with being caught up to the sub, I was gonna take a break from watching. I think the dub comes out on like the 12th, I think. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity. I'm gonna take a little break. Break?
What?
Is that even a word? Oh well, I made it up. And so, you know, I just decided I'm gonna chill here. My husband's not home right now, so I was like, you know what? I forgot to do a Wano video. I'm gonna do one real quick. Make it a long form, I think, because Wano is just fucking insane and it's so long. But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. I feel like I'm doing an intro and I'm not even really planning on doing any type of an intro. I was just gonna jump right into it. I didn't really mean to do that. Anyway, I decided to be very One Piece right now. I'm wearing my straw hat that I keep on the back of this chair. The sweater you guys have seen. I love the sweater, it's so comfortable. I got it at Bunk Sludge. Just saying, not sponsored, but you can hit me up though. I have my Zoro earrings, which are iconic. I wear them all the time. So, yeah. Wano is literally, I think, one of my favorite arcs, I think. I loved it. I think it's just stunning looking. I love how Wano looks, like this, like especially like in the city of Wano too. It was just incredible. God. Characters were all just so fun. I'm a very big Kinemon fan. I love Kinemon. I love that he is literally just this man that they ran into in Punk Hazard, who had the unfortunate mistake of meeting Trafalgar Law. First. He met Law first. And the poor man was just legs and head and torso for like a while. And then he ends up becoming this like incredible, important fucking character. And I'm like, I'm sorry? Pardon? Like, I don't understand, like, at all, but it's so cool. I like that he turns out to be, like, this bigger, like, person. Like, he's more important to the story than we think he is. And he's there for so long. He's there from Punk Hazard all the way to Wano. We had to see him in Dressrosa, which was really fun to me. One of the things I like about Wano, too, is another character that gets to be in here a lot is Law. I love Law so much. He's probably, like, my third favorite character in this entire show. I love Law. He's very Zoro-coded. I feel like him and Zoro sometimes share the same brain cell. And so it's kind of like, you know, I feel like if you like Zoro, you're gonna like Law. To me, anyways. But, you know, you never know. I love Law being in majority of this, from Podcaster to Wano. I love his, like, dynamic with everybody. You know, he acts like he doesn't like all of them. It's just an alliance, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, quit fooling yourself. You like the Straw Hats, whether you want to admit it or not. You do. Don't tell me otherwise. Like, that's how I feel, anyway. Could be wrong, but that's just the vibe I get, anyway, of Law. I also, the Ace tie-in of Wano, that Luffy runs into this little girl, Utama, you know, and realizes that Ace used to be there and actually, like, helped her and said he would come back, and she didn't even know that he died. And, you know, there's another Ace tie-in with Yamato as well. They were very close to him to Ace, and learning that dynamic too. It's like, that made me really happy for some reason to kind of see that tie-in of, like, Ace being, you know, he was in Wano. I would never have even, I mean, it makes sense. You know, I'm like, I just never really thought that much into it, I guess, until actually seeing it. I'm like, oh, of course he would show up on islands that Ace was probably on. And there's probably been a lot that Ace has showed up on, he just didn't know it. You know, he could have been a Dressrosa, you never know. I I like that kind of dynamic here. It's been a little bit since I've watched Wano, since I'm an Egghead, so I have like pictures and stuff pulled up to try to remember things. Because I'm like, I don't remember 100% everything. I remember a lot, just to remind myself so I don't miss anything. I also love Zoro and Luffy reuniting again. That scene was one of the most adorable scenes, I think, ever. Zoro and Luffy are my 2 favorite freaking characters. I love Zoro and Luffy. Luffy, I think, is probably my favorite MC. Just me, personally. Loved their reuniting scene. It was so adorable. Literally made me want to cry for some reason. I don't know. It was really cute. The Akazaya 9 too. I like the Akazaya 9, but the main one I really actually fully liked was Kinemon. Because I don't know why. I love him. He's just so funny. He was just a funny character that sticks around with the entire Straw Hats. It's fun. I also love the plot twist of that girl with the blue hair. I don't remember what her identity name was, or her secret name was. I'm drawing a blank right now. But you know, her death and stuff like that, and then it's revealed that she's Odin's daughter, Hiyori, and I'm like, what? Like, what? Wait a minute. She also had the hots for Zoro. I think we all can agree. I don't blame her. Listen, as somebody who is a very big Zoro fan, he's probably my #1 anime character altogether, honestly, and I get it. And it's like, you could just see it so much, and I'm like, I kind of ship it, honestly. I kind of like that. I also don't know if anybody else feels like Zoro is maybe somehow connected to the land of Wano, because there's a guy, I don't remember his name, but we see like glimpses of him in like a flashback. I think it's with Yamato, I believe. And he just looks like Zoro to me. They even said he had one eye that was cut too. That probably has nothing to do with it. But there were several people that kept saying that Zoro reminded them of boop, 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 of that person. I don't remember his name. Okay, One Piece has a lot of fucking names to remember. But you guys know who I'm talking about. I'll put like pictures and stuff, so you guys can see everything. But I feel like Zoro is somehow like a descendant or something to the land of Wano. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. Watch it be, and I just don't know it. Because that would probably be a possibility. In the prison udon, that was a crime to society. I'm also kind of a big Luffy simp, for people who don't know. He's just, yeah, not gonna talk about it. But that entire stuff, he's just a crime to society. Luffy should not be as hot as he is. I'm just throwing that out there. He just shouldn't. He shouldn't be, but he is. And I'm here for it. But it's God. I like him also learning the new hockey. I completely drew the name of what it's called. I liked him learning that the entire time. He was just like fighting people just for the purpose of learning it. He's like, alright, come at me, y'all suck. It's pretty much what he was telling everybody. Which is fair. Of Kanjuro being a traitor surprised me, but not the fact that it was him, because he was just kind of sus to me from the beginning. I don't know why. He wasn't really like one of my favorites. Again, my favorite's Kinemon. That didn't even occur to me. I was just like, you're fine. He also kind of gives me clown energy, and I'm not that big of a fan of clowns, so I'm kind of like, But I did like the twist of a traitor. I also got really annoyed when Shinobu was like, oh, Law, it was your crew that, traded us because they were captured, blah. And I'm like, did you not think about it was probably one of your own people? You're gonna accuse all of these other people, but not even consider the potential of somebody on your side. And granted, that makes sense. Why would you think it would be anybody else on your side? Like, why would you assume that? But it just annoyed me. I was like, bro, buddy. But all that stuff too with Law's crew was really sad. And the fact that Law never told them anything about Luffy and the plan of what was going on. He got his butt kicked a little bit with Hawkins. Like, he got his ass kicked and still did not say anything. And I'm like, that was it. I also hate when characters get injured because somehow they get hotter. I'm like, why? When characters get injured, it's like they somehow make them 10 times hotter. And I'm like, what are we doing? Law in that scene was hot as shit. And I'm fine with it. Listen, as a Law fan, I'm completely fine with it. But it's just like, bro. I do kind of want to talk about Sanji as well. Sanji was the twist of him using the raid suit from his family. And Law being fanboy over the fact that he's realizing, I think, a little bit of maybe who Sanji is, potentially. Like, I don't think everybody fully knows in the Straw Hats. Maybe they do. I don't know, actually. But the way he, like, uses the raid suit is still completely against everything. And then the twist of him somehow using the raid suit caused his body is now becoming like his siblings' bodies. Like, he got hit, didn't change anything, his body got all messed with, and he could just, like, move it back and heal himself. Like, I didn't know the raid suit would be able to do that. Like, it somehow triggered that part of him that never developed necessarily, and did. I did not expect that to happen when he used the raid suit. I was like, oh, cool, raid suit. It was sick as shit. Him using it for the first time, it was really cool. Wow. I was not anticipating him being able to actually use it in the way that it triggered those things of his family, like being able to do all those cool kind of things. And his reaction of not wanting it. He's like, I don't want this. I don't want to become my family. And he's worried about him becoming a cold-hearted person because of now having those things. And him calling Zoro to be like, hey, if this actually happens, if I actually go down this path of doing this, if I intentionally hurt anyone, kill me. And, like, the fact that he called Zoro, of all people, and asked him to do that was very... And I had a realization the other day. I kind of sometimes shipped Zoro and Sanji. A little bit. Not massively, but a little. Now, I don't really think I do, because I think after watching Whole Cake and kind of getting an understanding of Sanji as a character, understanding how terrible his family was, how awful his brothers were to him, his own father even too, I feel like, to me, Zoro is a brother that he never had. To him, his relationship with Zoro is how he thought having brothers would be. And that's not what he had before, but he is getting it in Zoro. And the Straw Hats are actually his family. This is how he envisioned the family to be. Is through, the Straw Hats. The Straw Hats are the family he never had, and Zoro is like a brother he never had. And that, that made me almost want to cry when I thought about that the other day. That, like, never really came through my head until I was, like, sitting at work all of a sudden, and my brain went, oh no. Like, did I really just think that? I don't know if anybody else has. I'm sure there's a ton of people who probably have. But for me, that kind of made me realize, like, I don't know if I fully ship them that much anymore. Just because I do think they have more of a brotherly connection of, like, they throw legs, they throw swords at each other, they butt heads, but they seem to care about each other. When Sanji sees Zoro with Law very injured, he acted like he didn't care, but you could tell he was worried. And even bandaging him when he was tying Zoro up like a mummy. You could tell he cared. You could see the gentleness he was having with him during that part. And I think there's been times that Zoro has even done kind of the similar thing. They both act like they don't care, but they do. And that's kind of, I think, sometimes how brotherly people are. For the longest time, I thought it was just because they were the same age. you know, and it was like dominance. It was like, you know, hormones of like, oh, I have to compete against this person because we're the same age. Because I think they are. I believe they're the same age. So it's like, oh, that makes sense. You know, I thought it was just that the whole time, like masculinity or whatever. That was, I don't think I said that right. You know what I meant. But it made sense to me. And now, understanding Sanji as a character after Whole Cake, I'm like, you know what, actually, I think it's more than that. Because Zoro is the brother that Sanji never had. It's how he envisioned having siblings would probably be. And I think that's maybe why he called Zoro to do that if necessary. And I love that. It was a weird moment though, when Zoro's like, oh yeah, I escaped hell to kill you. And Sanji's just like, oh, forget it. Never mind. Like, that part was weird. I don't know why he acted all fruity all of a sudden. But it could have also been more of just a worriness. Like, maybe he was just worried of, you know, actually becoming like his family, even though he's clearly not going to. But that was a very interesting, like, twist into the story. And also Queen knowing his father and, you know, all those different things going on. That was a weird fight. It was good, but just weird. My favorite fight, though, was definitely King and Zoro. King and Zoro's battle was insane. And throwing in the fact, too, that Zoro was already injured against Kaido. And then taking the medicine from the minks that healed all of his injuries, but it came at a cost, because once he took it, he'd be healed, but then once it wore off, he would have the same pain, but like 10 times worse. And then he already had more injuries with fighting King. So not only does he have that, the 10 times stronger pain, he also has the injuries that he already sustained from King. I'm like, Zoro, my guy. Like, that, I knew he was fine because I knew a little bit in Egghead, so I kind of knew, obviously, he was fine. Didn't make it better, because I was really freaked out, kind of, but obviously, he ends up being completely fine. I think only him and Luffy were the ones unconscious, right? Everybody else was fine. Maybe some, like, minor injuries and stuff, but I think they were the only two that was actually, like, unconscious, and they weren't even sure if they were gonna wake up or when they wake up. And then it was like, oh, they're fine. They're fine. They're gonna be okay. Of course, the future greatest swordsman and the future king of the pirates are gonna be fine, right? Obviously. I'm trying to think about if there's any. There's probably more right now. One thing I really want to talk about right now is Luffy's Gear 5. I knew I was gonna enjoy Luffy's Gear 5. I already knew that was a thing. Obviously, how can you not know that's a thing? Even if you haven't watched it, you probably know Luffy's Gear 5. More than likely. And I love it so much. It just makes so much sense for Luffy. The Gum Fruit and the Gear 5 just fits Luffy so perfectly. And I love it being like the warrior of liberation and a sun god. Because that's what Luffy is. I mean, he shows up in people's life and changes things. Like when he did for Nami, Robin, even Sanji with Whole Cake. Like, he's done so much for people. And just by being himself, by having a smile, by just being who he is. And I love that. It's just so good. And so the fact that he is that sun god, and two of him ended up having that, like, kick in. Because he technically died. Luffy, I don't think had a heartbeat. And the goofiness that he's when the Gear 5 clicks, the just constant laughing, jumping around. And I love the image of him, like, laughing. He's got his, like, hand on his face and, like, laughing. I have that as a wallpaper on my phone. I have, like, a one-piece shuffle on my iPhone, and I have that one of Luffy. Right now it's Zoro. Currently. In Egghead, that's what my wallpaper is right now. You can't really. yeah. I love the Gear 5. It was so fun. I do understand kind of the animation change. It does really seem like once the Gear 5 clicked in, there was a change in the animation, but I kind of felt like it made sense just because of how fucking goofy Luffy is. Like, I feel like the animation change made sense because of how it changes Luffy in the sense of being more goofy and laughing and whatever. Like, it kind of made sense. I kind of get it wasn't, like, incredible. I think leading up to that, Wano's animation was incredible. I still enjoyed it, though. Like, it was one of my favorite moments. I was really excited to get to it. I think that's why I inhaled Wano so much, is because I wanted to get to the Gear 5. And I also just, to say that you're nearly caught up in One Piece is kind of, I feel like, a big accomplishment. Fuck. It's a big thing to be that caught up with that many, you know, episodes. So I was like, to say I'm nearly caught up, I'm caught up to the sub right now, but to say I'm basically almost caught up is just a weird thing to say. It's taken me over a year. I would take breaks and stuff because, you know, that's a lot to ingest, is that much. But I enjoy the hell out of One Piece. I think it's my favorite anime. I think. I'm gonna be honest. I know that might be like, oh, that's such a common answer. But I mean, it is. I love One Piece. I love the story. I love the characters. Luffy is just such a compelling and fun main character, and I love so many other characters too. I love Zoro. I love Usopp. I used to be not like, I liked Usopp, but he used to be not really like one of my top favorites. He's now kind of starting to become that because I do think he gets, you know, there's a character development. He had some character development he needed to work on, and he's really taken a bigger turn. And I like that. I love the character developments. I love Nami. I have an orange Jeep Wrangler, and I'm thinking about naming it Nami. It was Naruto, but I'm like, it fits Nami. I said Nami the other day. I was with a friend hanging out and stuff, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go eat lunch at Gung Ho, and we're gonna take Nami because you haven't been in my Jeep yet. And it just fit. Like, it made sense. Like, it actually, like, fit to me better than saying Naruto. And I have One Piece stuff in it more than I do Naruto in it. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna change it to Nami. I love Nami. And my favorite female actually is probably Princess Vivi. I ship Luffy and Vivi. I don't know if anybody else does, but I think they were just really cute. Deep. Trying to think about if there was anything else. Oh, I want to know what Luffy's true dream is. When they are leaving Wano, he talks about, like, you know, oh, I have a bigger dream. This is what I want. And everybody's reactions was so crazy. They were all either laughing or looking shocked or mad. And I'm like, I want to know what it was. I want to know so badly. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But I generally want to know what it was. And I am like, what else is there? I thought the entire thing was being king of the pirates and being free. So now I'm like, there's something else, apparently, that we don't know, and I want to know, that now the Straw Hats know, and I'm like, hey, I'm a Straw Hat. I want to know. Tell me. There was another thing I was going to say. Momo's fucking adult change when he turns into an adult so he can be an adult dragon. Oh my god. The dragon? Epic. I would get a tattoo of Momo's dragon. 100%. I have already talked about that. I would so do that. Probably on like the side of my leg, probably. I would do that. I love his dragon form. I was not expecting, I mean, I should have expected it, because Odin is an attractive man. His mother was gorgeous. So it's like, yeah, he would be a very attractive adult, but I just wasn't really expecting how attractive he would be, I guess. And I love Luffy telling him he was like a little brother to him. Even though now Momonosuke is older than Luffy. He still has a child fame because he never fully got to like experience the age. You know, he was 8 and then all of a sudden 28. you know, there was no, like, I'm 8, now I'm 9, now I'm 10. You know, the things that you learn as those ages. Nope. He's just chilling. He's now this 28-year-old man who turned into a dragon. And now over land. It's fine. I also love Luffy giving them his, Jolly Roger as a way of, like, protecting Wano, especially now that he's an emperor. I did not realize Luffy would become an emperor. Didn't ask for it. I know he wants to be an emperor, but, like, that was insane. Did not expect that twist. It was shocking. I also really wanted Shanks to show up on Wano. I don't really know how good of a, like, reunion that would be, especially or Usopp and his dad. But I want to see it. I don't care. I do. It was so sweet, his Usopp's dad being like, I'm not ready to see Usopp yet. I'm not ready. Like, that was so sweet. I'm like, dude, your son is becoming a really fun and like great sniper pirate. Like, I talk about glow-ups a lot in this show. One Piece is really well at glow-ups. Like, look at Kobe. Kobe was just this tiny little kid, just whatever. He is hot as shit. Kobe is probably my favorite Marine as well. I love Kobe. I'm a very big Kobe fan. I love him so much. And Usopp is the same way. Usopp did not need to have this glow up. He simply didn't. But I'm here for it at the same time because the show just does really well at having those, like, glow up things. And I'm just like, we didn't have to do that. I'm not mad about it. Because I feel like now Usopp really seems to fit a little bit better. You know what I mean? Not really fit in better. He fit in. We see him do a little bit more now. He still cowards. But he still does something. You know? He kind of he seems to have a little bit more of a confidence in himself. Still has moments of being a little scared. But I don't think that's ever gonna go away. But I do think his character development is worth talking about because, you know, I like Usopp. I'm seeing an image of fucking Blackbeard. I knew that there was a moment in Wano, or at least like right after, where Law gets apparently injured, and then we don't see him again. I was told that. One of my best friends' favorite is Law. And she was like, he is injured and we have not seen him since. And they were still like, I think they were doing Egghead when this kind of started. And she was like, I am so mad because we haven't seen him since. And I was like, crap. At this point, I was in like Dressrosa maybe? Like really early in that area. So I'm like, well shit. Like fuck. And I finally was like, alright, maybe he's fine. Like she didn't really tell me like what was going on, what happened. And then I get to when they leave Wano, they all separate. And it shows Blackbeard saying about the poneglyphs. And he's like, one of them is going to come this way. And we're going to steal their poneglyphs. Whoever's coming from Wano. And I'm like, well, we know where Luffy's going. He's going a different direction because he was kind of starting to arrive in Egghead. Kid made the dumbass decision to fight Shanks. Don't even get me started on that. I think he just had a high of going up against an emperor and thought he could fight Shanks. I'm like, buddy. My guy. I knew how that was gonna go. That was just a mistake, honestly, on Kid's part. But anyway. And I was like, so, Luffy's over here. Shanks. Kid is over here. And I'm like, the only one left is... Fuck. I was like, fuck. It's only Law. And then when he showed up, and they actually, like, you could see, like, it was about to happen, I was like, oh no. This is what she meant. He's gonna get badly injured here. We won't see him again. This is what she meant. Crap. I have mixed feelings about Blackbeard. Like, I used to be the person that was like, you shouldn't like villains. Now, I kind of like them, especially if they make sense. As a villain in this show, he's great. Like, he can do several... devil fruits, the things he's doing. I'm like, it adds to the story of pirates and kind of, you know, for this show, he's a good villain, but I hate him. And I think that's the point. You're supposed to hate him, and I do. Do I admit he's a great villain? Yes. Does that mean I like him? No. I don't. I don't like him. And I didn't like him because of Ace. He was the reason Ace was at Marineford and why he died. And now, what he's done to Law. Now, was that fight incredible? Yes. I think the animation was pretty good against Blackbeard versus Law. I really loved that. That was incredible. It made me very happy. Because it was like, Law just seemed so badass. Like, he just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. But it was so cool. And then, why did we have to destroy his submarine? We didn't have to do that. Why did we have to do that? So now, Law is being taken by Beppo somewhere because he's injured and his crew are nowhere to be found. And his submarine is destroyed. I feel so bad for Law. Because I love Law. And I hate that this happened right after the alliance ends with Luffy. But I'm like, I kind of feel like if Luffy finds out, he's gonna be pissed. Because he does care about Law. I think those two are actually friends, rather Law will admit that they're not. And I think Luffy is gonna be pissed if he finds out what happened. Especially because it's Blackbeard. He already has a problem with Blackbeard because of Ace, and I think if he now finds out that he's also hurt Law and his crew, that's gonna set Luffy over the edge. He's probably gonna be really ticked off. Rightfully so. Because I was mad too. I was mad too, because that pissed me off so badly. I was so mad. Surgeon of Death, King alone, okay? Just leave him alone. But yeah, that's, I think, mostly what I have to say about Wano. Once I get done with Egghead, I don't know if Egghead is Egghead still going on? Or is it done? Like, are they finished with Egghead? I don't know, actually. I'm gonna find out. But I'll do another video once I'm done with Egghead. Hopefully I'll remember this time. I don't know. I think that's mostly all I had to talk about for the most part. You know, in the comments, you can let me know your stuff if there's anything I might have missed. You can have your own discussion about it. Or if it is something I truly realize I missed, I could do like a quick little short form talking about it, I guess. And if you guys want me to do this kind of thing more, like take a break from reacting and just kind of sit here and chill with you guys and just talk about whatever I'm watching outside of reacting. I made a video talking about Heaven's Official Blessing. I did a little short form video of that. I'm watching One Piece on my own time, because I have to. Trying to think of anything else. I've watched Delicious in Dungeon. I really enjoyed that. I watched that on my own time. I feel like I'm watching something else. But my brain is like, I don't remember what it is. Oh well, it's fine. I'll remember it eventually. But if you guys want me to do this kind of thing more, let me know. I will gladly, when I'm caught up with something, I can make a little video and just talk about it. If you want. Anyway. I can take a break from reacting. You guys can actually just kind of chill out with me. You know, we can just vibe. But in the comments, let me know if you guys like Wano, what your favorite part about Wano was. And, yeah. I will see you when I do Egghead. Probably. Because I'll be probably done with Egghead soon. So, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else to say. I'm currently looking at Luffy, shirtless, and Udon right now. Because I have pictures pulled up so I could try to remember some stuff. That's kind of distracting. Anyway. This is almost 40 minutes long, so I'm gonna end it now. You guys, if you guys want more, and you know what? I've had people say my stuff should be longer. It's hard to make them longer with being reactions. YouTube is very strict about a lot of things. You have to make it short. Or at least somewhat short. And I try to, just because I am decently new, and I don't really, you know, understand everything, so there are probably things I need to learn. But it just makes me feel better personally to have shorter videos, so that way, you know, if they are like 17, 18 minutes long, that's really more just me yapping. The reaction itself might only be like 14 minutes, but the rest of that is just me talking. It's fine. It's fine. But, you know, if you guys want me to do more longer videos, I could do something like this and just kind of chill out and talk to you guys about whatever I'm watching. Or if there's something I want to talk about, you know, I could just randomly get on here and be like, yeah, guess what? This is what I'm doing. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully you guys will like this. Let me know if you do. I could do like a community poll as well. And see if y'all want me to do this more. And yeah. I'm excited with Wano and I'm excited with Egghead. So I will see you guys when I finish Egghead.
Anyway, bye-bye.